The market has been really erratic this year, and it's not easy to find investment opportunities. The Nasdaq Composite is up about 11%. So is there any more upside to see? Today, I'm going to take you through a high growth stock, and the stock price has already increased a lot this year. But long term, I find this company really, really interesting. It's in the very important interconnectivity space in the AI infrastructure and AI infrastructure build out. And to me, this is one of the companies that might be a winner long term. And if they are, there will be a lot of upside for this company and stock price. In the future, the bottleneck in AI data centers and computational data centers is the interconnectivity, the data movements between the clusters, between the GPU, CPUs, etc. And this is where Credo is experts. They have the type of solutions for the future data centers that the hyperscalers and the neo cloud companies really want. And we do see it in the income statements and in the growth of this company. We will look through the numbers more later, and also listen to the CEO, part of the earnings call. But going forward, this might be their most important product so far, and they are building out and scaling out more solutions. So this is something called AEC. It's an active electrical cable, and inside data centers, usually you have a lot of copper cables. This is a better version of copper cables. It's a revolutionary device that enable higher speeds and longer reach than the traditional cables inside the data centers. So you can see why a lot of companies want these solutions. Also, they have inside the AI infrastructure overall, they provide a high-speed, reliable interconnects. Also, in terms of optical solutions that make AI scale up, and scale out possible. And they have some design advantages. Basically, they have something called their cutting-edge CRDO technology, combined with their expertise and system-level design approach that enables this type of solutions. If you want my channel and my content to find you again, don't forget to push the like button and subscribe. And hopefully we see each other again. And what we see is they have a lot of hyperscalers that are trying to build out through their products. And one of the products they have is called Zero Flap. They have it both for their optical cables and for their AEC cables. And why is Zero Flap important? Basically, when you have a network going on, maybe if you're, it's the same if you're at home, you don't want to have lags or delays in the networking. But if you have like training your large language models, that is even more important to not have delays that is costing millions of dollars. And basically what the solutions from Credo Zero Flap is doing is removing that through a software layer and also a hardware layer. Since it's good to hear the company talks about their products and get a visual about them. So that is what we do now.
To Credo. Today I'd like to introduce you with our 1.6T AEC cables. These are the longest reach cable in the industry, lowest power, best in performance. What we see here is the newest NVIDIA Vera Rubin GPU. This is an NVL72 rack. It has 144 GPUs in there. We have a row size of 4 GPU racks totaling about 576 GPUs, all connected through our AEC cables. The maximum reach of these cables is 6 meters. We have the 4 back-end switches here and the 1 front-end switch here. This enables us to have the highest reliability. Link flap, which is a big concern. Our cables enable you to have 0 flaps with it. We've got 6 billion hours of cables working in the field without a link flap reported. Thank you very much. For more information on our cables, please come visit our website.
That's truly impressive indeed. And let's listen to Bill Brannan, their CEO of Credo, from their latest earnings call, talking about the latest results, the income statements, etc., and the products. And I was really, really impressed with this earnings call, and that is why a part of why I'm doing this video right now. So buckle up.
Which can be accessed using the investor relations portion of our website. I will now turn the call over to our CEO. Bill?
Thanks, Dan. And thank you all for joining our fourth quarter and full fiscal year 26 earnings call. I'll begin with a review of our fiscal 26 performance, discuss the major developments across our business, and share our perspective on the opportunities ahead.
So we're not going to listen to the whole earnings call here, just a couple of minutes to hear about the economic results and Bill's thoughts about the products they have. So basically maybe 3 to 4 minutes, and then we're out and wrapping this up.
Dan Fleming, our Chief Financial Officer, will then provide additional detail on our Q4 and fiscal year 26 results, along with guidance for the first quarter of our fiscal 27. We'll then open the call for questions. Fiscal 26 marked another defining year for Credo. Revenue exceeded $1.3 billion, more than tripling year over year, while non-GAAP net income increased more than 5 times to $662 million. Very few semiconductor companies have scaled at this pace while sustaining product leadership, strong margins, and operational execution.
Watching this, you should know that this company at the moment is valued around $40 to $50 billion. So it has grown. Their market cap has grown a bit, so it's a bit pricier to start to invest in the company right now. But you can have that number in your head when you hear Bill here talk about the financial results.
In the fourth quarter, fiscal 26, revenue reached a record $437 million. Notably, our revenue in the quarter exceeded our entire fiscal 25 revenue. Q4 non-GAAP gross margin was 68.3%. Non-GAAP net income grew to $227 million and was more than 30% greater than our revenue in the year-ago quarter. Producing these results required incredible effort and expertise, and I want to sincerely thank Team Credo for their continued stellar performance. These results reflect Credo's ability to capitalize on a fundamental shift occurring across AI infrastructure. As AI clusters scale from tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of GPUs, connectivity is no longer just about bandwidth. Reliability, power efficiency, signal integrity, and telemetry have become critical architectural requirements. Today's AI infrastructure is increasingly constrained not by compute, but by the reliability and efficiency of the connectivity fabric tying these systems together. Over the past several years, AI network reliability has become Credo's North Star. Our roadmap, our product investments, our software architecture, and our system-level approach have all been built around helping customers accelerate cluster bring-up, maximize GPU utilization, and maintain stable operation at unprecedented scale. Credo was purpose-built for this transition. Our strategy is centered on delivering connectivity solutions across the full spectrum of AI infrastructure, from die-to-die and chip-to-chip connectivity to multi-rack scale copper and to row scale and facility-wide optical interconnect. By extending both inward toward the silicon and outward across the data center, we've positioned Credo to become a foundational network architecture partner for our customers. Importantly, hyperscale and neocloud operators increasingly want partners capable of delivering multiple generations of connectivity solutions with deep system-level integration. This is where Credo differentiates itself through our vertically integrated approach, spanning core SerDes technology, silicon and system-level solutions, firmware and telemetry software, and operational execution.
All right. That's what we're gonna hear today from the earnings call, and it's really impressive, reaching 68.3% in non-GAAP gross margin, meaning this company, if they continue to get a lot of revenue, they will really get more net income in the bottom line. I'm truly impressed, and it's a really interesting company long term. So let's dive into the market cap, what they earn, and the growth prospect of the company before we wrap up this video. Right, now I'm going to show you why I'm real bullish. So this is from the Global Tech Optical Networking The next megatrend paper from Goldman Sachs, produced May this year, about the future of data centers. And this is core information if you watch this video so far. So this is basically high value science about the future of data centers. And you can read here at page 18. We expect the adoption of silicon photonics in optical transceiver modules to grow from 6% in 2024 to 45% in fourth quarter of 28. Silicon photonics provides advantages over traditional discrete optical transceivers due to a higher level of integration and smaller size, lower power consumption, and lower cost. These advantages will become more prevalent when the industry migrates to faster speeds, which I've told you about. Nevertheless, the EML would also coexist in AI data centers, especially for long distance transmission, given CV lasers require high power to deliver similar performance to EML in long distances. So this is amazing if we look at it through a perspective of Credo Semiconductor. Also, the price of like for like products decline as scale ramps up, similar to many technology components. Nevertheless, the speed migration towards 800 gig lanes, 1.6T and 3.2T, would continue to drive the blended ASP expansion. Gross margin of optical module suppliers will ramp to 48 to 55%, driven by products mix migration as higher speed products would shift towards SIF-based optical modules, benefiting from lower laser cost. And I talked about the AAC products of Credo, which is like their biggest at the moment. Why am I talking now about silicon photonics and this being such a huge part of the build out of AI infrastructure? And basically, Goldman Sachs are with this landmark study here, providing insights about the future and why and what happens with their connectivity going forward. I'm just going to go down here a bit to show you. Here you can see, first we have the scale up, then the scale out, and then the scale across. And all this connectivity needs to be both having a lot of retimers and also have the correct type of connectivity. So first we have the AACs, a huge product, modern and more reliable copper cables from Credo. Then we have the optical solutions, and we have some companies, but one of them who does this silicon photonics is Credo. And look at this. Silicon photonics here. Wow. This is breaking news from the latest months. So basically, Credo completes acquisition of Dust Photonics. What is this? Well, Credo, as you now know, is an innovator in providing connectivity and scale out through fast, reliable, energy efficient system solutions. That's what the industry need: reliability, energy efficiency. That's keywords. That is why they are getting so much traction among hyperscalers as of today. And they announced that they completed the acquisition of Dust Photonics, that brings industry-leading silicon photonic integrated circuits. This is exactly what this paper was about from Goldman Sachs. How much this part gets just keep on compounding and growing in terms of the scale out of data centers, and seeing Credo doing this acquisition for optical connectivity and deepening their optical interconnect portfolio across the different lanes here with higher and higher speeds, near package optics NPOs and CO package optics CPOs. This means that with this technology, Credo is now positioned with vertically integrated connectivity stack spanning from SerDes, digital signal processing, DSPs, silicon photonics, and system integration for the scale out and scale up of networks, addressing both electrical and optical interconnects across the AI infrastructure build-out. So with this addition, the Dust Photonics, the company now expect that the combined portfolio of zero-flap optical transceivers, optical DSPs, and silicon photonics products to become a significant growth driver in fiscal 2027, reflecting strong customer traction, expanding adoption across hyperscale AI developments. And this is so new for this company. So much is happening, and people are just looking at like that 150% growth in 2026. They are looking at the numbers regarding 2027. If you listen to the whole latest earnings call, you could figure out that they could see an 80% growth in 2027, with emphasis on the second half of 2027, when the revenue from dust photonics and the new customers will start to be accretive to the income statement. And 80%, if you add that to what we already have, I think it was like $2.4 billion in revenue for 2027. And I mean, seeing the type of growth rates this company have and being valued around 40 to 50 billion dollars, if they continue to grow just like 40 to 50%, and then maybe down to 30% every year in this high growth area. You did see the Goldman Sachs scientific paper there about how important the interconnectivity is in the future of the data centers, and especially this silicon photonics and the retimers around there. And seeing this acquisition of Credo and the type of customers they already have, and the hyperscalers just being aligned for more products, it's hard to see that this company long term won't continue to just grow in terms of market cap. I can see it being traded up and down short term, but long term, this is one of the absolute most interesting companies in the stock market, and I can see big success for the company long term. And what they say here is that they celebrated that they Dust Photonics is now part of Credo, and yeah, basically now this is a company that all have is having scale up and scale out in terms of interconnectivity in the data center. So they have a huge market opportunity and TAM in front of them, to do what they want to do, to transform connectivity at scale through fast, reliable, and energy efficient system solutions through high speed copper and optical interconnect products that deliver industry leading power and performance up to 1.6 T to meet the ever expanding data infrastructure demand of AI. So this is a part of the thesis that I see. They are already very profitable. They can use the cash flow to reinvest in the company. They have been purpose built for this specific moment in time, doing this for many years, and it's like the perfect place and time for Credo now, when the changes we see in the data centers and what the market demand. This is what they have prepared for. This is what they are built for, and that is why I see an opportunity here that is one of the most interesting I've seen in a long time in the marketplace. Another important news for Credo that just dropped is that they are starting to collaborate with Rebellions and working together to maximize operational efficiency in enterprise AI factories. And this is quite big collaborations and very bullish news for Credo. So basically, this means that Credo, a connectivity at scale, going to collaborate with Rebellions, a global leader in AI inference infrastructure. They're going to work together to bring Turkey scalable AI factories to enterprises around the world. And this will integrate the new Credo Zero Flap. And this is very bullish because Zero Flap is a new innovation from Credo. And basically, having this innovation already with Rebellion and pushing that out means that this is a very important step. And we don't have, I think, in the estimates of the earnings for 2027, we do not have a lot of revenue from Zero Flap. So if this gets massive deployment and a massive success, this could be upside from the numbers we have heard in the latest quarterly numbers, and that could be obviously a boost for the share price long term. I hope that. So basically, they use this to design and deliver consistent link flap free connectivity into the production ready high performance Rebellion's Rebel Pod TM trademark. By integrating these technologies, Credo Zero Flap AECs and Rebellion's help. These two will help enterprises to accelerate time and first token unlock AI cluster productivity. So this is what we need in the future for especially the sovereign AI. A lot of countries want to be independent of maybe Nvidia, etc. And Rebellion is providing such services. And you can see down here the type of scale they will have through this collaboration. So you can see here that Rebellion is backed by Aramco, the huge oil company in Saudi Arabia, ARM, Kindred Venture, KT, Mirai Asset Group, Samsung, SK Inix, and SK Telecom. So this is such a bullish news for Credo, and basically I don't think a lot of investors have this analyzed. So I want you to know that at least. Yeah. Last, I want to give you this picture to see and compare Credo with companies that are in the similar space to just differentiate and to improve your understanding of what type of company this is. If you are interested long term in investing, you obviously should know companies in the same area, etc. So Broadcom is most people know them as a connectivity giant, the leader in connectivity, and they are very broad in terms of their footprint, but they are not primarily focused on the scale up service as Credo, and they do not have the leadership focused in this, while Credo has the industry leading lowest power per bit. And the architecture of Credo is purpose built mixed signal with the proprietary DSP and SerDes architecture, while Broadcom is more general. And if we see what's the key differentiator for Credo here, so it's basically the end-to-end signal integrity expertise with the best-in-class power efficiency. Marvel, they are a lot of data in infrastructure, silicon networking, storage, custom. Some overlap with Credo, but not in everything. And they are more into custom silicon, which also Broadcom is. Cisco, they are very much about the networking systems, switchers, and infrastructure, not focused in SerDes, not focused in silicon for scale up, not focused in SerDes silicon as a whole. And they are basically a best-in-class networking systems, not the SerDes silicon company. Astera Labs, also a company I'm very interested in. I might talk about them in the future. They're actually very strong in connectivity, but they are stronger in the smaller kind of way through the CXL and PSLE connectivity. So this is like inside the clusters, inside the CPUs and GPUs. You also need this zero flap logic and the fast interconnectivity predictable with modern software solutions. And this is what Astera Labs are doing. They're doing kind of the same at Credo, but at much smaller scale. So they are getting revenue for every deployed CPUs, GPUs, while Credo are getting most of their revenue now from the scale up and scale out of infrastructure and data centers, moving between like 1 meters to 6 meters and beyond that through the optical solutions they provide. So there are differences here, and I have looked at the different companies because I don't want to have too much overlap when I invest in a company, because that could mean that another company just come in there and eat their lunch. And I analyze this a lot regarding Credo, and I do find their solutions really being differentiated and their patents really strong in what they do, and that is why they're getting so much traction for hyperscalers. What we can say is it's strange that companies like Broadcom or Marvel or Cisco or whatever haven't done the solutions that Credo has done, but sometimes that is what is happening in the marketplace. You need up and comers to get an edge, to get that innovation, and this is what we have seen with Credo. And yeah, that was everything today. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like this type of content and want more, and have a wonderful day.